Howdy. Welcome to Grandpa's Humor. I'm Grandpa. This is part two of a series of U.S. Army basic training in 1966 culture shock. Basically, I'm telling everyone some of my experiences in the United States Army while going through basic training in 1966. And I'm just going to hit the areas that I find that I think everybody will find to be amusing. Now, one of the things that I found immediately upon arriving at basic training in Fort Polk in 1966 was the latrines, or what the civilians would call men's rooms, were not what you would expect or see in civilian life. Now, we were housed in old wooden World War II barracks there at Fort Polk, and our latrines were definitely different than anything you would see today for sure, and pretty much not see in the civilian world back in those days. One of the neatest things, or the most obscene things, is in each latrine, and you got to understand that these latrines served about 36 men. There was a total of 8 toilets sitting side by side by side in one row, and right across from it was one big long urinal, and it's not like separate urinals, but one big long one like a horse trough that you would use to pee in. And now these toilets, they were not separated by partitions or nothing to divide from one guy to the next. Matter of fact, you sit so close together during on those toilets that you could actually lean over and put your arm around your buddy if you really wanted to. And this is not something I was used to at all. Even today, I'm not too crazy about that doing public duty there. But either way, we got there, and I saw those things there in my billets, and I was on the second floor. And life in the Army, at least back in those days in basic training, you didn't have no time to just to go and use the restroom when you wanted to. You had to go when you were there. There wasn't no set aside time for, oh, let me go, stop training and go use the bathroom. It didn't work that way. You had to go when you had the opportunity. A lot of people, I guess, they're on schedules and they do it when they first get up in the morning or before they go to bed at night. And I know some people are on routines. However, I wasn't used to that. And anyway, I didn't think much about it when I first got assigned to my billets. But after a couple of days, I got to where I needed to use the bathroom, and I really did not relish sitting down there beside some other fella who was doing his duty, and having to smell his odor and listen to his grunts and groans, and him having to smell mine and listen to my grunts and groans. So I wasn't excited about doing that, and I didn't really think I could do that because it's not one of those things I felt like I could do. Well, after a few days eating that good Army chow, and you got to go, and you got to go sometime. And I just couldn't force myself to do it there with the other fellas. And I don't know if I was the only one like that in my platoon or not, but I had to figure out some way for me to be able to go use the bathroom and not have to share my experience with somebody else. So our days were generally pretty long. They started about 4:30 in the morning, and we would go till 10 o'clock at night, and with lights out and taps. And that gave me a period of about 6 hours, I figured, where I could get down there to that latrine. There wouldn't be anybody else around because we was all so worn out, needed to get some sleep. So it took me a while because I kind of got plugged up. But anyway, I figured my best option was to go late at night, early in the morning, and we was already suffering sleep deprivation because of the short hours we were allowed to sleep, because although lights might have went out at 10 o'clock and wake up was at 4:30, in between then we had a series of what they call fire guard, where they had 2 guys up walking around all the down the base to make sure nobody's smoking and catching the billets on fire. And so that just took away even more sleep. But I knew I had to do something, so that's how I would take care of business until I got more accustomed to what was going on and into a situation where I just had no option. I had to go and couldn't wait, and so I had to suck it up and do my business with the guy next door to me. Either way, that's just one of my little experiences of basic training. I don't think they do that anymore, but it was pretty. It was not a pretty picture. And even today, when I go into a men's room, I don't really care to have to go in there and listen to some feller grunting and groaning and smell his stink. And I really don't want to be doing my job and have someone else listen to me and smelling mine. But in the Army, you share everything you share. All experiences is shared. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And as I said in my first little iteration, don't think that the military is like you see it on TV or on the movies, because it's not that way. Now, I'm using my time up for this little iteration. I hope you'll come back and see the next part. I thank you again for stopping in and watching this thing. Additionally, if you like what you see, please give me a like and subscribe and pass the word to your friends. Thanks again, and I'll be talking to you next time.